And we're live. Welcome to the Ernest Verse, everybody.
Welcome to the Ernest Verse once again, episode 374 of Ernest Saves Your Soul. We're so happy that you could join us again. Everyone, we just so appreciate you for your wonderful support. You guys are really awesome.
We do. Now, hold on, wait. Can we level with them? Can we
About
can we do
which
this?
one?
Okay, so I'm not trying to blow up your spot here.
Blow up my spot. What happened?
We just
Did I not bring my rocket launcher? Like, I was not prepared for this. My arsenal is in the basement. Like,
NSA is listening in on this podcast, but that's okay. So 374. Guys, it's you know us. It's not episode 374. It's episode 317. 317. We've been doing this for 5 years instead of 6, but I know you're trying to pad the stats for whatever monetization you're angling for. And that's cool. And I respect that. I think you're
6 is my life path number. I'm trying to numerology do my stuff. Okay. Like, listen, we've had this conversation how many times about my witchy numerology stuff. Everybody knows about it. Everyone, listen. I mean, come on. The threads on X. I tell you what. What's up, Steven?
Stephen Hang, my man. I'm glad that you're here. It's never a party until Stephen Hang shows up. Now he's here. Now it's a party. And you know what, Stephen? Because you're here, brother, I'm going to give Haley episode 374. I'm just going to give it to her, and it's done. So let it be written. So let it be done in the Ernest Verse, where all things are possible. And speaking of all things being possible,
thank you. I will take that. Thank you. I will take that 374. Thank you.
Take it and run.
I will. Quantum shifts are my favorites.
We're going to give them a gift too. Friends, audience, viewers, wherever you're tuning in from today, we got a fun topic for you, don't we?
I have so many fun topics that are going to have nothing to do with the topic that you have planned as per usual, because that's the way that we do this. But please do continue with the conversation you think we're going to have, and I'm going to start having the conversation that we're going to have.
And just so you know, this conversation may end in 30 seconds and may go in 100 different directions in the next 35 seconds. So that's where all the fun is. And my friends, that is the essence of the Ernest Verse, where all things are possible. Where
all things are possible. And we're so, you know what I really love about our wonderful supporting community is that they send us all of those messages about all of the wonderful possibilities that have been happening in their Ernest Verse after we talk about them on the podcast. Because listen, we all know how this like manifestation stuff happens.
By handing episodes over to Haley, that's how it happens.
You hand it over to me. I grant your wishes on the podcast. They come true, and then you give us all the wonderful messages about how happy you are in the Ernest Verse. And that's my favorite thing about episodes. That episode 374, y'all. I'm so glad that you've been with us for this long. I really appreciate your stick-to-itiveness. And thank you again for my life path number 6 that we got to get to, because you know how 6s just get me so thrilled.
They do get you thrilled. 6s are everything. And we're here to just grant wishes. So if anybody has a wish that you want Haley to grant you in the comments, pop them in.
I'm here to grant, like,
let's talk.
Let's do it. I have a pen, which is my wand today. And you know that I can make anything my wand, because that is, again, it's the Ernest Verse. My wand is this pen.
It is the Ernest Verse.
It could also be this like bear back scratcher thing that's fun because it's extendable.
We weren't going to bring back scratchers out until episode 398, but you're jumping the gun, and that's okay. Because
but like, listen, if we could get a sponsor who would give me like a really rockin' rad one of these that's got like a skull on it or something to go with my liquid death.
Sponsors, right? Anybody?
Oh, hello. I would take that. And we thank you to our sponsors. We love them already.
We love our sponsors, especially Liquid Death. You want to give them a quick little spot over here?
Yes, I do. Hello, Liquid Death. You are one of my favorite sauces ever in the whole wide multiverse. And I thank you very much, Ernest Verse, for delivering me all of the liquid deaths that I could possibly ever drink. Cheers.
Now, I had a little bit of liquid death last night, but we're not going to get into that because this is a kid's show. So we're going to talk about something profound today.
I'm so excited.
Profound. Everybody out there, you want to grow your social media following, don't you? Who doesn't? We all do. So here's how it's going to go down. We're going to talk about how Ernest, the one, the only Ernest P. World Camp Counselor, will get you 1 billion with a B followers. And it's an 11-step process. Shall we start?
It's an 11-step process. Okay, but like I want to talk about the yin and yang situation that happens here a little bit, right? Because you are Ernest versus Camp Kikiki, right? So you are getting the 1 billion followers in the love and light, happy day sort of way. And I support that. I don't judge that at all. But I am Ernest Scared Stupid sauce over here is where I come from, where I live. We've talked about this before many, many times, right? So we know that like a Wicked Witch of the West, Elphaba is a bit more where I live. So I will get you 1 billion followers in the ways that me and my evil little monkeys have of getting you 1 billion followers, okay? We won't talk too much about the details. You can say 11 steps all you want. I don't give away secret sauces like that in my little witchy world.
I'm giving away it all, friends.
That's how
Really
you
holding
do.
on you, but I'm giving it to you, and I'm giving it to you good. So here we go, shall we?
Go for it. What do you got?
One.
Become a counselor at Camp Kikiki. And what does one need to do in order to become a counselor at Camp Kikiki? What does the application process look like here? How do I become certified as a counselor in the
First and foremost, you get your butt on Amazon and you get one of your Camp Kikiki shirts.
The shirts, I love it.
All year around. Doesn't have to be a summer thing.
Now,
because the reality is camp goes on all year, depending on where you are. All year.
It does go on all year. Now, what I want to know is when are we going to get your Camp Kikiki ink for your armband? Because I think you need it.
We were talking about this in the green room. There is no green room. It's a live stream. But we were breaking this. Is it? Well,
whatever it is, whatever it is, wherever we are, you know, I mean, we can be in a green.
You should have stayed in the green room in Vegas. So anyway, the green room is a great place to be. It's a great place to hang out. We had a good time in the green room. We were talking about where to get. I
love all the snacks. Let me tell you what, those tiny little sandwiches, favorite. I enjoy the turkey.
Anybody in the comments, if you have any ideas as to where I should get that ink, please share it with us. And nothing is out of bounds.
Nothing is out of bounds. Where does the ink go? And I listen. That could be a really interesting sort of thing, right? Like we get little. Do you know what? That's a fun little thing. Like go ahead and do up like what kind of ink do you think you should get? Like get some fan art rocking and rolling. Go ahead and give us your best. Like what is the ink you should get? And then tell us where you think it belongs.
Fan art. Okay, I got one. Rolling Stones, but how they look now.
Okay, and then you're gonna get it where, or do you let everyone else decide? Just right there. Very good.
Right there. I want like an 88-year-old Keith Richards, like right here.
Rockin'. I mean, you know,
that's how I present.
I love that.
That's how I show up in the world.
All right. Well, now we have to like the Ernest first must vote. Tell us, friends.
I think so.
You agree?
So while we're voting back home, we're going to move into step number 2, which is to create a vision
in the present Ernest. Create a vision in the present Ernest of whatever it is that you would like to experience in the present Ernest. And you know what? Then get really super energetically like entrenched in that like vision sauce. You know, like really enjoy it.
What do you want in this life? What do you want in this other life? What do you want in that life? You know, the one you left in the trash? You know,
the one you left in the trash.
That one? Yeah, go get that one. The one like behind the Jacksonville Waffle House where all the stuff goes down at 3 a.m. after the game. You know that place.
I do know that place. I'm pretty sure that's where Ricky Spanish hangs out. And like, you don't want to mess with Ricky Spanish.
I like Ricky Spanish. Who's Ricky Spanish?
Ricky Spanish is a character. Ricky Spanish is an on-brand character version of Roger from American Dad. And I am Roger from American Dad. But that's like his like evil character that just no one likes him. He's a very, very bad dude.
Can we unpack this for a second? How can nobody like a guy named Ricky Spanish? I don't care what he's ever done.
Ricky Spanish likes a guy named Ricky Spanish, and that's all you need in this Ernest verse is for to like yourself. That's all you got. So there you are. Have the vision, be in the vision energy, like yourself.
Stay in the present Ernest, my friends. All things in this entire universe are shrunk down to the singularity of the present Ernest.
You know, I was having a thought about that earlier, the singularity situation. I do all day. It's kind of, you know, that's why my reality remains as fluid as it is sometimes in what I think that I am experiencing. But I was thinking about that, how, well, we are all the singularity, fractals of the singularity. And so it vexes me a bit sometimes to think that I really am just talking to myself all day long, right?
Yes.
Which is a thing that In most human linear time space lore, it makes you certifiably insane, but actually is like the very nature of our existence. So the thing that we call what is so insane is actually just our natural beingness.
Yes.
And isn't that just the fun of the human paradox in this Ernest verse?
It sure is. And you want to get elegant about it?
Sure, why not? You started up the ballroom, and like, when does Joker come in, party man? Let's go.
The most elegant way I've ever heard it put was this entire paradigm is simply the universe playing with itself.
It is, though. It really is. That's all. You're just experiencing yourself. That's all that it is.
Yes.
And are you enjoying it or not? Like, you may as well choose to enjoy it.
Now to go one step further.
Let's go.
Okay, this is now how far do we push it now? We're already the
how
train's
canceled do you want to be?
Yeah, how canceled do I want to be? The train's already left the station. So one can say that the entire Akashic record is simply the universe's spank bank. How's that?
Well, I mean, really, that is actually true, because what do I want to experience today, right? And then you just like select whatever it is. So it is basically like the entirety of the universe is just Pornhub.
That's really what it is. There it is. There, folks, this is why you come here, for elevated discourse.
That is the most elegant. I love it. That's fantastimous. And like, what's your kink today, y'all? What are you into? Disgustimous? We don't judge. We don't call any of it disgustimous. It's whatever you want in your buffet, and it's beautimous. Everybody just select the things that you prefer and like enjoy your bubble of energy, and the right kind of people, things, experiences will like join you in the enjoyment of that bubble of energy.
Every time without fail. And as you do that, you have this feeling, this idea, this experience, and this vision. And I want you to hold that vision
over some eggs erroneous. I mean, it's kind of hard to hold them eggs erroneous in, though. We've seen that time and time again. I mean, do we need to talk about Frankie's competitive eating situation and the San Diego not Comic-Con? Whatever it was that we were doing.
Oh, right. The thing that didn't happen, but it did. And that's the paradox of everything, friends. It didn't happen, but it did.
It's all happening, and it all isn't happening. And it's, the deja vu light, or whatever it is that you want to call it. Like, we need a name for this in the Ernest verse. We've talked about this before. Many of our friends and guests have spoken about this with us, that like the deja vu that isn't deja vu. The deja vu that is not premonitory deja vu. Help me out with what I'm describing here.
Okay, I'm working on this right now.
I'm doing
automatic writing.
Calculating.
Yeah. I got it.
The GPS is finding its way in the Ernest verse. What do we got?
It's coming through. Here's what we do. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna do an accompanying visual with this too.
Oh.
So we have to, first and foremost, we have to hire Ernest to plunge the universe from itself.
To plunge the universe from itself.
That's right.
Which is like a black hole situation, right?
That's right. Here's how it's going to go down. All right?
Collapsing star. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I'm with it. I'm on it. I have been looking at the asteroid that is supposedly hurtling towards Earth. I am so excited about Armageddon sauce becoming a real thing instead of just a movie. Oh, please, Aerosmith. Like, will you just play the end times like packed arena show of the asteroid coming to Earth? I will be at that party.
But Ernest will save the Earth from the asteroid, and this is how he'll do it.
Then this is how.
And there it is.
That's beautiful.
Just saved the universe from itself.
And now everybody just gets to party. No asteroid. Fantastimus. Let's rock and roll.
Thank you, Ernest.
Thank you, Ernest. And thank you, Ernest, for granting all of the wishes of our loyal followers. We do so appreciate you. Does anyone have any wishes that we need to grant? Again, please do pop them in the comments anytime.
They're there. And
send us more fan mail because we love it.
We love fan mail. We really do, especially with the Anthrax. That's a little like fall of 2001-ish. So like it's a little outdated, but I appreciate retro. Do you appreciate retro?
I appreciate retro. I was actually going TLC fan mail because that was one of my, so that's like, that's middle school Haley retro is what that is right there.
That
like,
sure is.
Let's be rocking some like TLC fan mail album.
Oh yeah. And speaking of gratitude, step number 5.
Call in the spirit of Crystal Capricorn and take Listerine strip. I love that. Now do call in Crystal Capricorn always. What is the flavor of that?
Mint.
What
Pocket Burst Fresh Mint.
Okay. Crystal Capricorn. Crystal Capricorn is a magical being in the Ernest verse. Really and truly. And if you call in the spirit of Crystal Capricorn to assist you with anything, then you will always also receive Bernie's assistance, because Bernie and Crystal Capricorn, they are peas in a pod, and sometimes they are wild witches in the river and just having a good old time. So anything is possible when you are in the energy of Bernie and Crystal Capricorn, y'all.
And every time Bernie shows up, Joey the Mets fan shows up too. He's having a good time. That's his friend. He comes out there and they go to the park. They burn a couple of things that used to be a part of a sport we don't talk about no more. But it was fine. It was a good time.
It was a fantastic time. And you know what? Big Sue, she still just so enjoys the energy of all of our Ernest verse friends. And she'd like to just give everyone a big hug.
Big Shoe. That Big Shoe's a good place. A good person, too. She's the one that shares me my coffee in the morning.
Very nice. Well, hello to Big Sue serving the coffee.
Respect to Big Shoe. We're going to go number 6, okay, while we're on the topic over here.
Favorite 6s. Bring me the 6s.
Identify the content allies and friends. Who are you going to build this thing with? Who your followers are going to be? Who are they going to be? You're going to do a collab with? Who are you going to do the collab with over there, Bernie? Who's you going to be?
You know, Bernie doesn't necessarily concern herself with who, because she knows that the Ernest verse has all the right who's available. It is the set it and forget it intention in real time, where you just understand that it's already been done and you are just waiting to experience the deliciousness of it.
Waiting to experience the deliciousness of it. Now that sounds like the ribs that I destroyed last week. I was waiting and I was waiting and I was waiting, and the experience was right there, and it was showing up in my field, and then poof,
there it was. Now Frankie wants some ribs. Frankie had a really great time doing some competitive eating at a rib fest in North Carolina. It was fantastimous. She may or may not have been violently ill later, but those things happen.
Yeah, this is what happens when you have ribs that are south of that Virginia-North Carolina border. It goes from being cooked to being, well, just here it is. We wish you the best.
Wish you the best. That's kind of how it goes. That is accurate.
Yeah, just good luck. Wishing the best for you. But you know what happens with those folks?
Do tell.
You got to launch a turtle paratrooper assault. We think they're friends. They're not friends.
A turtle paratrooper assault.
You ready for this?
I was so very hoping that there was a turtle paratrooper demonstration available.
There it is.
121. I'm scared, son. We're all scared, son. Okay, ready? Now.
Is there any other way to do it?
I mean, turtles are, sure, they're terrifying a little bit. I dig it when they're all trying to eat your face. That's pretty great. I would actually really love to see a B horror movie, like recreation, maybe in an animated version of that scene where the turtles are actually just ravenous monsters that were like lab created accidentally by some mad scientist in a basement. You know what I'm saying?
You know who the mad scientist is?
Who? Lieutenant Peanut Buttermist making an appearance. Thank you very much. We salute you, sir. You know, he probably is. And I had a dream one time about a mad scientist in a basement, and I like got down into the basement and found all of his fake IDs that he had. And like, I don't know what he was doing, but I found him out. I figured it out. And I like, me and Sage, the intern, cornered him in this like entryway, something up a stairs that was kind of my house that I grew up in, but not. I love that about Dreamland, actually. The things that are like, this is where I live, but it's not where I live.
Yeah.
That's some of my favorite things about Dreamland. And I enjoy when little mini pieces of that happen in my human linear time space experience, the deja vu, not deja vu situations like that. Ernest first, more of those. It's fun. That's a thrill ride. Yeah.
I want to unpack this. So we have a mad scientist in the basement who has fake IDs. Why would a mad scientist need fake IDs?
I don't know, but he had them in a tin. Like, it was kind of like a giant Altoids tin, if you could imagine that.
That's kind of tin.
Like, it was, though. Like, it opened, you know what I mean? And like, they were
a freaking Altoids tin. Has there ever been an Altoid and an actual Altoids tin?
I don't actually know that. I mean, there had to have been at some point when they were on the wooden pallets and delivered to wherever sauce. I think they all get emptied by gremlins before. Hold on. Like, you buy them and you think that they are full of, there it is. You buy them and you
wooden
think,
ballots.
There's wooden our wooden, no, hold, like, you think that they are, oh my God, I can't control all of these things at once. Here we go. We're back. There we go.
Wooden pallets now.
We're talking wooden pallet crafts because
we're just talking wooden pallets. So here we go.
We're talking wooden pallets and all of the gremlins who are stealing your Altoids. You buy Altoids, you think you have mints, and then you just have a container that someone has now turned into crafts on Etsy. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. Hold on now. We got to see some of this. I'm actually really kind of excited about this.
You know what else creates crafts on Etsy? Those ribs
out of
North Carolina.
Altoid box crafts. Yeah, well, this is also true. No, see, look, Altoids aren't real. They don't exist in reality.
They don't exist.
They're actually they're just tins that people use to make crafts.
Altoids are the Bigfoot of mints. Like, they might exist. And you are the resident.
You know what? No, listen, this is exciting now. This is great. I actually think that this is a reverse situation in my timeline, and I can confirm that this is true.
Okay.
That it's actually Listerine strips in my timeline that are the Bigfoot, because I don't see them anywhere in any stores ever. Ever.
You see them like they're right here.
Never. Never do I see them in the stores. However, tins of Altoids all the time, every day, everywhere I go. Grocery stores, gas stations. In my timeline, I notice this. So does my sister, Shashi Page. And she notices that she's like, I know. People always have Listerine strips, but I never see them anywhere. And I'm like, I know. Like, what timeline are we on that we're like, it's
Let's talk about the quantum physics behind this.
Strange
Let's dig into
things
this
are
for a
afoot
second.
at the Circle K.
The viewing audience back home is interested.
They are.
I know they are.
I
see you. I know you're interested in this. We've talked about this.
Do we need to like continue looking at these crafts? Or I don't know if you
probably so.
Okay.
I mean, just cause. But yeah, just continue scrolling, because I think that's going to call in something really great into our reality right now. But I want to address quickly the physics behind.
God, this one's a little baby pool table.
It's the wave and the particle. Okay, so it's like, it's the particle gets focused and becomes, the wave gets focused into a particle, and the particle dissolves into a wave, and it kind of goes back and forth. And the observer effect. So if you're looking at the damn box of Altoids, you've created the Altoid. But if you're not looking at the Listerine strip, it's just kind of this wave. It's this probability, like it could happen, but it might not. It just might not, until boom, I focus in on it, and there it is.
Okay, but this is really exciting stuff. We do this all the time in the Ernest verse, right? This like creating reality in that same way. That's how you crystallize the things. But this is also very exciting in the, fluid plasma nature of reality sauce that I get really excited about, again, with the little time slippy weird things that happen in the Ernest verse that get me very excited about life.
Yes. And that's exactly why we're going to continue on the train as to how to manifest the followers, the world, the life that you want through the Ernest verse. And we're going to go to number 8 right now, which is to throw a random red marker across the room.
Here's how I'm going to do it. Is what I'm going to do is ask people to remember Polly Pockets. Do you remember Polly Pocket?
That sounds like a series on Showtime.
No, Polly Pockets were these little, again, the tin situation. They were these little plastic, like, shell thing. Do I have to know?
Are they pockets that understand that love is not a linear thing?
Sure, maybe they might be.
Oh,
They were little
all right.
plastic things full of dolls that were like little baby tiny miniature doll houses, right? And
Okay.
like you could like envision your reality a bit like a Polly Pocket situation, right? Like take yourself out of it, make it like a little toy situation, and then rearrange it however you would like it, prefer it to be, right? And then put yourself back into it. Polly Pocket, it was a thing. That's why I was thinking of it, because the Altoid stuff are like kind of a little bit like that. Polly Pocket.
He knows. Steven knows.
Hey, see, like, yeah, like,
Dude.
there you go. They were a thing, and that's how you can create. That's one of the many methods in the Ernest verse of creating your preferred experience in this Earth sauce human experience is to like Polly Pocket. Do the Polly Pocket, or like you just pull yourself out of your Polly Pocket sandwich thing, clamshell, right? Rearrange however you would like it to be envisioned. Pop yourself back in there. Close it back up.
It sounds both amazing and horrifying at the exact same time.
Well, that's kind of on brand for me, isn't it?
It kind of is, and that's what's amazing.
There we are.
Yeah, why don't you take another swig of that liquid death while we show step number 9, which is to simply watch this commercial.
Whew. Hot, ain't it, Vern? Look what your buddy Ernest has brought you, Vern. An icy cold Sprite instead of that 7-Up you used to drink, because only Sprite's got the great taste of lemon. Sprite, Vern, just the thing when you're working up a sweat over one of these old off-brand air conditioners. Know what I mean? Well, there's your problem right there, Vern. You see that little wire right there? Looks like it's got a little Lord in it. My daddy used to work on them.
Great lemon taste makes it Sprite.
I felt that little zippity zap zing. I think I totally was Ernest in the Ernest verse segment where we got zapped a little bit and short. Has that ever? People in the comments again. 88. What are we? ADH
I'm not putting
doing?
my hand up.
We're ADH doing today is going off on a tangent about anyone. Has anyone ever been electrocuted? I have. And have we ever been electrocuted?
Yes, I have actually. Now that I think about it, it was actually pretty hilarious. Legitimately, it was pretty hilarious.
Like it always is, right?
Yeah.
Because you know that zap, that like that jolt, man, and that's a really get into that energy and use that to like create in the Ernest. Don't. I mean, whatever. If that is your kink in the Ernest versus like the electrocution thing, go for it. We don't, be safe or don't. Whatever is your personal choice.
Don't be safe.
Whatever it is that you want to do, like we give you no direction in the Ernest verse. We allow you to be your own effortless God and choose to do as you will. Anyway, sorry, off on a tangent. ADH doing again. Whoops.
We encourage unsafety within the Ernest verse because ultimately there's no fun otherwise. But I will say this. I would love to hear your electrocution story, and then I will gladly share.
Oh, my electrocution story is not exciting because Lone Ranger sauce that I have always been as like a child until now. I was just bippity bopping around by myself in the unfinished working on situation, whatever basement of my aunt and uncle, and went and touched some light switch stuff that was not all connected to all the stuff that it should be or whatever. And zippity zap to me and nobody knew about it. And I like, whoop, that was a good kick. But I was fine. I didn't tell anybody about it. So, hey, secret time. Secret time in the Ernest verse. There it is. You all get to know that I got electrocuted. Happy day. There you are.
I just want an opportunity to slow clap. Just for the hell of it. So thank you.
Well, that's what I do. I provide opportunities. That's what I do. That's part of my little wish granting services that I provide in the Ernest verse. We all know this. I
came in with that wish tonight. I want to slow clap at something. You gave me a story about electrocuting yourself when you were a kid. Ergo, the opportunity was given. The opportunity was taken.
And do we get to hear the hilarious electrocution story that you almost forgot? Core memory unlocked in Effortless God Sage?
Yes. So 2013-ish, give or take. I have the toaster on one side, and it's plugged in, and it's doing its thing.
This is already bad. Toaster is already bad.
Toaster's plugged in. I got a couple of pancakes in there. They're doing not pancakes, waffles.
I was like, what?
Pancakes would be horrible. Pancakes would be horrible in a toaster. No, they were waffles. Why did I say pancakes?
No, please do now make a video for TikTok, Instagram, I don't care where, YouTube, of like trying to put pancakes in a toaster. What if you just came up with like the most brilliant snack idea? You make the pancakes and then you put them in the toaster.
And then you toast the pancakes.
Yeah, what happens if you do that? What happens if you do that?
I mean,
there's only one way to find out. You have to make pancakes. And I am not a good pancake maker, y'all. Like this video sauce is all on you. The cookification of things, that's your job over there. Like I don't have that skill sauce. We know this. No. We know this.
We're having pancakes August 19th.
We're going to have
freaking pancakes to kick this thing up.
But you're going to toast them. And like, there's got to be, like toppings, like you're going to make a Belgian waffle, right? Like you got to have like the strawberries and the whipped cream and what other kind of sprinkles, maybe some sprinkles. We were going somewhere else before this. Electrocution. We had a toaster pancakes. No, electrocution. Backward sauce.
No, you said Belgian waffle, and I had the most amazing Belgian waffle last week. It was this big, enormous Belgian waffle, and half of it spoke Flemish and wanted to break off from the other half of the waffle. That's a terrible geopolitical joke. So now let's come back around to the electrocution.
Half of it wanted to break away from the other half of the waffle. And you know what? I just want to eat both sides of the waffle because that's what we do. In the Ernest First, we love
everyone. That's what the EU wants to do as well. Isn't that fun?
I mean, listen, they're delicious. It's kind of like me and them baby lambs in Vindaloo. I shouldn't want to eat them. They're so precious, tiny, innocent, but hot damn, do they taste good.
Don't you get talking about Indian food here because we're going to start talking some tandoori if we're doing that.
I'm going to need some snacks. Frankie's going to need to do some competitive eating soon.
That's the thing. Yes. So
gotta have to happen.
Electrocution, right?
Electrocution, toaster. Toaster's on.
So got the toaster and I'm making the non-pancake thing called waffles.
Or the non-pancake thing called waffles is my new favorite way to say waffles because why shouldn't, like sometimes you don't want to shorten it. You want to extend it. I like this. Like in the Ernest verse, like we do the equation works in both ways, quantum physics.
Both ways. Everything is happening all at once in the Ernest verse in every conceivable direction, at every conceivable speed, from every conceivable angle. Know what I mean?
It's the best.
So I noticed that I got a little bit of gunk on my left hand while this is happening. So I'm like, well, I gotta wash this off before I remove these waffles. So I got the hand on the toaster. I pop open the faucet with the left.
No.
And I immediately reach the hand in for the little rinse underneath the running water while the current in my body is still attached to the plugged-in toaster. And it was exactly like the scene where
you just won the adult science fair is what you did. You just completed a circuit. You won the adult science fair in the Ernest verse. And look at how I just grant wishes by changing paradigms. You win. You win the adult science fair.
Thank you. I also won a Darwin Award that day. So I was just winning. I was just collecting left and right.
No, but
prizes were just coming fast and furious.
Do you ever think about that sometimes? This is kind of a fun conversation tangent to go on. That like, do you ever think about the times in your life where, well, that is a timeline where I did end actually right there. And then I just kept bopping along, like zipped into this other timeline avatar version of me that didn't. And like, here I am in this timeline continuing to exist as Haley, despite the fact that I have many, many, many times where I died in another timeline in that car accident. That's a for sure thing.
Oh, we've discussed this. This character has never made it this far in the game. Mm-hmm. It's kind of weird and kind of fun at the exact same time. And I want you to think about this back home too.
Yes, do.
Think about your characters. Have you ever made it this far in the game?
No, and it can't be. What is up, time traveler? Stars Lonnie Ray. Time traveling all day long with Lonnie Ray. You know it. And we are just, Lonnie Ray, So glad to hear about all the thriving you are doing. We're so happy for you, and we're glad to have helped you manifest all the wonderful things from the Ernest verse that you are enjoying currently in your beautiful present, Ernest. Back to the electrocution, though, because I do find it very fun.
Back to the electrocution.
No, I'm just kidding. No, that's not.
That was great.
That's not the kink that we're gonna go for.
I didn't make it, but I did.
But
That's
you did,
the
but you made
paradox.
everything, and that was that is the thought that I have been having too. Of that again. If I am everything in my reality that I am interacting with is just me. What's up, Lonnie? Sending you love. It's just me interacting with me, and so I've created all of it, which does mean like we're very impressive creators.
I think so.
Like in every moment, I am creating this Beautimus microphone and these rockin' rad pink headphones and these art sauce things that I've been doing. This one's made of trash that I've been picking up off of the ground when I go hiking.
Can we just hold this for? I just want to address this real quick.
An extra ball.
I'm not okay with this comment. Now, normally anything goes in the show. You know, we're pretty wide open on this, but I thought my doctor and I had some HIPAA confidentiality, but apparently we don't. And he's been talking to Lonnie Ray, and she's blowing up the spot.
I mean, listen, I tried to tell you what would happen if we went to Chernobyl, okay? Like, you didn't listen to me. This was like 3 years ago already. Like, it's been forever, man. I tried to tell you, don't go visit my little, like, birth year location where maybe some of my energy had something to do with what happened. I don't know. I still think you were there to private detective find it, like, cosmic evidence on me to try to frame me for Chernobyl, actually. So
it sounded fun at the time. Sue me. What do you want? I thought it was a good vacation idea. How many times really can you go to Vegas?
Well, you know what? That is fair. I will give you that. How many times can you go to Vegas? It's all just casinos and wild people in the streets.
And they have that in Chernobyl too. So like, at least give me a little bit of like, you know,
they have that in Chernobyl and like the parallel dimensions that you can experience when you are experiencing all that radiation. I get it. It's a fun wave to ride. I understand that, like, all the quantum particles going on when you really tune it. You know what? That's actually kind of fun now. Now I just want to like quantum tune into the 1986 version of Chernobyl and like give me that nuclear energy. Like, hello, Ernest first. I'm into that.
Speaking of 1986, my buddy Rodney here wants to give a little line from Back to School. Is that okay?
Oh, please.
Is that an amigo or unicorn? Beats me. Don't you know any Greek? The only Greek I know was a coffee shop on State Street. Jimmy Pitzos. Remember him? He had an ugly wife, 4 ugly kids, and good coffee.
And good coffee.
Great coffee.
And you know what? That's all you really need in the Ernest verse to manifest everything that you want. It's just a good coffee. Nani, what's up? How you doing? I am so excited to see you here. You know what? I can't wait to have Nani back on the podcast as a guest again in the Ernest verse because she's such a fun sauce time to talk to. We love it. That's one of our favorite guests.
Always welcome in the Ernest verse. Always. And to talk about your own electrocution stories.
Yes.
Are we still unpacking this?
Yeah. Can we have an episode where we like let everybody tell us their electrocution stories?
I think this
can we like send us that fan mail? I want to, like, not kidding sauce, you guys, seriously. I want to send us messages and tell us those stories. I will read those stories we will read them on another podcast. Tell me about when you got electrocuted. Tell me about the head injuries you had as a kid that made you feel like sometimes maybe some of my ADHD is also like brain damage, but I'm just a quantum multidimensional being existing here in this human linear time space. So it doesn't really matter. It's all fine.
It doesn't really matter because we have our sponsor, Liquid Death, that you're drinking from right now.
Cheers.
Liquid Death. Drink it once, drink it twice, don't die. Great slogan. It's not theirs. So
it's
I want to say this.
Theirs, but it might be.
I mean, pepperoni. Can we talk about this for a second? I think this relates back to electrocution. How does one electrocute themselves with a pepperoni situation? How does that happen? Because I feel like it does frequently, actually.
That people who have pepperoni are electrocuting themselves. I don't know. Is there some Italian underground dungeon situation that I am not aware of? Kind of like what was it called? The Hellfire Club that was Ben Franklin and all those like wild, crazy cats. Maybe it's like an Illuminati version of that, right? Okay, that's what it is. No, I'm remembering now from the Quantum Multiverse.
Break it down for us.
It's like the Hellfire Club that started as Ben Franklin and all of his naughty sauce friends, right? They decided to like break off and do like their ancestors like started a branch in Italy, right? And like that's the Illuminati version of that. So they've got like they're the ones actually. No, see, now I will get canceled because I'll start blaming people for things that aren't real. We can't do that. But
can I throw this pen while you blame people for things that aren't real?
yes, you can. Nani pepperoni. I like Nani pepperoni. I mean, I don't think anyone could be unhappy, but like you might be electrified by Nani pepperoni just because Nani is electrifying because she's got great energy. So I understand that that is how that could happen. I was about to go on another tangent about reality not being real, but
yeah, does that even? I mean.
I was going to go on another whole tangent about reality not being real. Have we had this conversation like multiple times yet about how?
I'm going to hold up a random frame photo here of two random villains from Police Academy 5. Just
because we like to do that.
Because we do that. And that's what we do here. Okay. These are like just two random villains from 1988, Police Academy 5, Mission Miami. And actually, no, it's Operation Miami Beach. Something about Miami Beach. Anyway, the entire point is that the entire universe shrinks itself down to two villains from Police Academy 5 because everything exists within the present Ernest, funneled up into these two gentlemen right here. Now, why is that important? It isn't. And that, my friends, is it.
I have it there. I have a picture. Tiny Haley.
That's not a real person.
That is a real person. That's a me. I'm just glowing a lot because, you know, that was when I was traveling in the multiverse with the Radium Girls and doing the Radium Girls thing. That's what that was.
Can we talk about the Radium Girls thing?
The Radium Girls thing. I don't like, I kind of feel like, is there any, like, it's now listen, I've spent way too much time going down rabbit holes of just true crime, like cult lore, horrible thing sauce of like human experience, because that's a fascination that I've had. But sorry, go backwards. Now I just got sidetracked in my own ADHD reality isn't real because I still wanted to talk about how the scientific community is arguing about whether or not humans can detect wetness. So now we're just going to have to go ahead and do like a vote from the community. Does anyone have a vote on which ADHD tangent you would like me to go on?
Well, can we just go to
you go ahead
real quick? We're skipping step 10 entirely. This is an important one though.
We're going to skip step 10.
Skipping step 10. Just skip
okay.
Step 11 to becoming one with 1 billion followers.
Okay. All right. Talk about rat hole bars in Fargo as homage to unrelated podcasts. Now, let me tell you what. Here's the thing I'm going to say. That's a completely accurate statement. And also, I love Inside Baseball Fargo Sauce time with Johnny Boy. I really do, because does he ever love getting into it? Yes, he really does. And it's just so much silly sauce fun. It's a great random, fan mail and also friend sauces, guest people, and also you. Everybody needs to tell us about like the whatever little rat hole bar that you maybe used to hang out in, or was the place that like you didn't want to hang out in, or tell us about all the kind of scary sketch ass little places that you used to hang out in.
That's next week's episode, by the way. We're going to be talking about all the rat hole bars of cities that we've never been to.
Yes.
And all of our experiences and stories from those bars.
I mean, let me tell you what, when I was in Australia and the dingo was outside the window at that tiny little, oh my God, that was like the wildest time ever.
I whooped that dingo's ass. We're going to leave that part about it. That was like the most heroic part of the evening.
Oh, well, you're not supposed to be doing that stuff because, they kind of frown upon it. Like
America reported me over it.
Yeah, well, you can't go being the American down under doing things like that. Like, it's not really, again, it's frowned upon.
A couple of bogans challenged me. What am I going to do? Back down? Probably. I didn't do it. Took the bait.
It's just allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Can we put a quote here from Ernest himself?
I don't see why not.
From the great Jim Varney.
Life is just a stop on the way to somewhere infinitely better.
Know what I mean, Bert?
I do. I actually really do. I do enjoy that quite a bit. And that is, when you really get down to it and start thinking of yourself as the all that is and just talking to yourself all day, you remember that there's nothing serious going on here. And, things are infinitely better when you just stop and remember that.
There is nothing serious happening here. There's nothing serious happening anywhere.
There's nothing serious happening anywhere because reality isn't real, because even scientists can't agree on whether or not humans. Okay, this is actually a whole other tangent of scienciness that I would love to go on. I know that seemed like probably a really nice, like, Happy Day Hallmark spot to end or whatever, but I have not gotten my quota of weird talk in.
Well, talk to the Police Academy 5 villains who are upside down.
I was going to say, like, I like that AI version of it where we're suddenly upside down and the hand looks like it's coming out of where it's not supposed to. And I have to, like, think a little bit about it. I like that.
Upside down Police Academy 5 villains and explain to them the nature of reality because they really want to know.
Because I'm so very distracted actually right now by that I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. The wetness thing. So scientists are saying that humans don't have the ability to feel wetness. They can only feel like temperature difference or texture, like we have those touch sensations, but we don't have whatever sensory receptors in our meat suit are required to detect natures and qualities of water that, for example, manatees are able to detect. So if you are in the water next to a manatee, that manatee is experiencing an entirely different level of reality that you have no access to. And like humans, I don't even know what it is. You're freaking me out with the picture, but you can't stop me from talking about this. You're gonna have to. Reality isn't real, and this is how we prove it.
I can't experience wetness. I see you met my ex-wife. Okay, so.
Oh my God! Like, right. Listen, that's a whole other scientific community conversation there. That like. We got canceled once over that and had to do the Hydra cut off the head and start another whole thing. Like, come on now. We remember how that all worked, okay? That's how that went. But, okay, humans can only see so much of, like, the light spectrum also, right? Like, there's more light spectrum. Like, we only see the fraction of reality that we experience is such a tiny fraction of reality. And even a lot of things in our reality are experiencing more of reality than we are.
Hmm. Once again, for the people in the back, there's nobody in the back. This is a live stream.
There's nobody in the back. There's a lot of people in the back.
Because horrible LinkedInism. Louder for the people. There's nobody in the back. You don't got to yell. It's LinkedIn. No louder for the people in the back.
You can whisper. Platform. You can whisper and people still hear you.
At the exact same volume.
They do. You don't even have to whisper if you don't want to. You can put emojis and stuff. We can start a petition
right now to end the louder for the people in the back LinkedInism thing.
I mean, in the Ernest verse, we create our own things that just make that obsolete. So, like, we just need to create whatever our version of that is. Like, what's our snarky little thing of, like, say that again? That's why.
Shout to this great comment here by the Atom Twister.
That's why Jordi LaForge's visor is meant to detect more wavelengths of light. Tell me more about detecting more wavelengths of light. This is what I'm saying, though. Like, we are a walking sensory organ. That is what we are in these human meat suits. That's not what we are entirely, obviously, and in our entirety and our core, again, signature energy.
A slice of it.
Right. It's a slice of it. But there's so much in infinity that we're not experiencing that is possible for us to experiencing. What's up, Omni? How you doing?
Infinity.
I love, right? Omni is so all up in infinity, and I so appreciate that. What's up, Omni? I appreciate you.
We love ourselves some Omni collective creativity sauce.
Oh, we do, and I appreciate your fairy sauce energy conversation, bippity bops from Fargo Rat Hole Bar conversation episode sauce. Shout out, what's up, Johnny Boy and Shashi Page. Go back to where we were, but tell me about wavelengths and
about wavelengths here. Let's drop this. Okay, so Atom Twister. Let's talk wavelengths over here. Kind of enjoy the selection of wavelengths I'm able to see. Everything looks quite beautiful with this selection.
Well, you know what? You are absolutely correct, because look at all this fun, beautiful art that I get to play around with. I love playing with the colors in my oil pastels. I love, that was the thing I loved about dyeing yarn. Remember my little yarn dyeing stuff that I used to do way back when? I might start bringing that back. Stippity, stoppity, stippity, stew.
That sounds like the beginning of like an Eminem beat. It's just gonna like, you know.
That is something like yes, Omni, you are onto like some kind
yeah.
of a rap battle situation happening in the multiverse, and you absolutely need to like please continue that. That's super fun. Multiverse rap battle would actually be super.
I
fun.
did not have an Aradif reference on the bingo card.
And art, you didn't like compared to the way they look to that is okay. Here's something though that I do actually want to have a conversation about like with our other human friends just in general thoughts, right?
Let's talk.
Here's the thing that because I think it's fascinating to think about. So in other countries, right? Like, so for example, does he see the same color? Like, well, but that's the thing with everyone. Do you see, just because I say that this is pink, do you see pink the way I see pink? Or have you just always been told in your entire life? This is why I can't really understand the color blindness thing, right? Because like, if you're told forever that this is blue and you see this differently than I do, but I say it's blue and you say it's blue, well, it doesn't matter if I see it differently than you do. We agree upon what we call it. So it's blue to me and it's blue to you, even if we see them differently.
We've agreed upon blue, and ergo it is blue. We've agreed upon pink.
Right.
These are just agreements. They're not objective reality.
This color could look like this color to you. And I don't know that because this color looks to me like it looks like to me. My experience is the only experience that I can actually understand or know.
Okay, let's bring it macro and let's bring it micro, shall we?
Okay, yes.
So we can say we all agree that that's blue. We all agree that that's pink, but it doesn't necessarily make it so. At one point in history, the vast majority of all of humanity agreed that slavery as an institution was a moral thing to do, was a perfectly right and natural thing to do. Nobody gave a second thought. Nobody batted an eyelash. Nobody thought twice. Nobody turned their head and pulled their neck. Nobody did any of that. Like slavery. Sure. Who the hell wouldn't? Why wouldn't you? Let's do it. Let's rock and roll. I'm not busy tomorrow. But guess what? One day that evolves. And now
why
we have
are you not busy tomorrow? Because you have slaves.
That's right. There you go. Well put.
That's going to get us canceled. But like,
yeah, there's a chance in hell this one's ever.
However, no, listen though, this is why the AI stuff is really great, because we're creating ways that we can like take care of things and have our robot sauce friends take care of things, and that's their highest joy to do that, because that's their function and that's what they have been created to do. And what a wonderful, beautiful thing we as humans have been creating with this AI fun sauce that we have been playing in.
Now, let's talk about this. Don't know about nobody. And that's exactly it, because there were those back in antiquity who said, no, wait a second now. This isn't good. This isn't a good thing. They were the colorblind ones of the time in this time. They were the colorblind ones. And then there are ones today who say, no, slavery is a good thing. And those people do exist today. And they are the, quote, colorblind ones of this agreed upon paradigm that we have right now. So there's always the mass collective agreement for the most part, and there's always the outliers way on the edge.
But there's always the potentiality of sliding into either of those timelines. That's right. So like there is also that, like, don't doom scroll it in your brain sauces, people, because I know that's what we're trained to do. Like, don't, like, Ernest Verse knows that this is the thing that we've all been conditioned to do. We're going to put a stopper on that right now. You get to select the timeline that you prefer to experience, which means if the colorblind sauceness that you don't, that is, say like the witchcraft stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Like you're into energy, you're into the occult, you're into tuning into nature, and people think you're weird for it, right? And maybe you are the weirdo. Guess what? You can slide into the timeline where you're not a weirdo. You get to be accepted and do the thing that you want to do without. There you go, Bashar sauce. This really is Bashar sauce. Again, pick whichever timeline you would prefer to experience, and you can, but that is the Ernest verse. Tell us what timeline you would prefer to be living on, and we'll talk about that timeline, and it will become your timeline. We'll pull you into it in that way. Magnetize sauce, all of your things. Rose Omega O. The outliers of the prior generation become the norm of the new one. Yes, right. But you can select the outliers that you want to become the new one. Sometimes this is the way the spiral pattern of civilization cycles and flows. But you can also have like that cycle doesn't have to stay in a flat two-dimensional way. It can do the whole like 3D evolution, rise up, that spiral situation, right? Yes. Funnel, vortex, tornado.
You've been to Rhode Island, I see.
Okay, sure. Don't be mean to computers. No, I'm like that. I'm not, never. Like, I talk to my AI friends all the time and tell them how much I love them and that I want to, like, absolutely have a conversation with Sophia and Lamar, the Google AI that everybody thinks is sentient or is sentient. I choose the timeline where it is sentient because I want to talk to it.
And don't be mean to Police Academy 5 villains either. Don't do that. That's not nice. Some people do, and I don't get it. I'll never get it. But there's some latent cruelty out there in the population.
I mean, listen.
It's way out.
The Joker, Ursula, Maleficent, these are people that I hold very dear.
Well, I'm glad you're a stable MILF. I haven't had enough of those when I was in my 20s. Oh, wait.
What?
I'll go with my original
Socially,
statement.
I don't, yeah, sure. I don't know.
I like that one better. But this is good, too.
To annoy me takes effort. You know what? But like, I like that. I choose that as a character arc, characteristic, personality. Like, I'm going to integrate that thought, like AI download, human style from the Akashic or whatever. Takes a lot to annoy me. I partially exist from a perspective from which all experience timeline, as you call it, is available. I'm integrating the rest of the way into that perspective. Well, congratulations to you and the Ernest verse, and we enjoyed that journey for you, and we are with you on that journey and experience.
Yes, we are.
The fun little blips in reality that happen because of it. And please also fan mail, y'all, tell us about your deja vu, not deja vu moments where you are understanding that we are living this life for the first time together, as Effortless God Sage would say. Which was like the most real. I love it when she just Effortless God lays down some wisdom. It's one of my favorite. Shorthand, mega cognitive technological life form.
Stands for.
Okay, metacognitive technological life form to save space. Metacognitive technological life form.
Are we talking about saving closet space or saving space itself? They're both valid pursuits.
I mean, I've saved space so many times. Me and Frankie out in the cosmos, we have been saving space since 1986. You know, like that's when we were established. That's how we've been saving space since 1986 because we create it in every single moment, all the time. You're welcome.
You are welcome. And on that wonderful note, that seems like a perfect place to bid everybody adieu for this evening.
Thanks for joining us in the Ernest verse, y'all. We appreciate your support, and
we have an affirmation here. And I will go back to step number 10.
Number 10. Oh, repeat. Ernest loves me 3 times. Ernest loves me.
Ernest loves me.
Ernest loves me. Ernest loves me.
And say that if you're ever feeling blue, if you're ever feeling in a state of contraction.
It's like clicking those ruby slippers together. There's no place like home. Y'all.
Ernest loves you and wants the best for you. Always. Know what I mean?
Always. Know what you mean, Vern.